On this episode of Castoshi, I talked to Juan Gasca of TinDefi, a platform for investing in early stage crypto companies. Juan talks about how they plan to make investing both safer and simpler for investors, and how his experience from working in a fraud detection company helped to shape this vision. We also talk about how regulation can either help or hinder innovation in the crypto space and how different countries handle this. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to Castoshi, and today we have Juan Gasco of ScanDefi and TenDefi. Did I get any of those correct?
Well, you got TinDefi and ScanDefi right, but my name it's hard to pronounce. It's Spanish, and it's very always everyone gets it wrong. It's Juan, but don't worry about it. It's normal.
Juan, okay. Are you Spanish speaking yourself?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Spanish, French, and English speaking.
Okay, where are you from in Spain?
Initially from Madrid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a few hours north of me. I'm in Gibraltar, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. Okay, nice.
Yeah, a lot of dilemma from there
Yeah.
in Spanish people,
Yeah.
but it's what it is.
Okay. So would you like to start just by telling us a bit about what your two companies do and how they kind of tie into each other?
Okay, well, as you said, I'm Juan Gasca. I'm the CCO of ScanDefi and TinDefi. We started off with ScanDefi, and this is a cybersecurity blockchain company where we have the famous scanner. And what we do with this scanner is an AI system that kind of picks out different lines of code and different aspects of every single token in the blockchain. It's still in development, but what we do basically is just pick out specifically maybe if it can be a rug pull, the owner can change the code and smart contract in order to fraud people. So what we do is that's the main function. We also have the academy. We have a whole ecosystem that kind of feeds a blacklist of scams and reports them. It's community based. And then kind of give a whole ambience around scams and cryptocurrencies. Then in the other side, we have TinDefi, which basically the only reason why it exists is the fact that the crypto user doesn't have a place, an app to be in. You can also have, for example, messaging. You have Telegram, Discord, Reddit, Twitter. Then you have the social media aspects, Instagram, Twitter again, Facebook, whatever things. And then you have the information part where you get, I don't know, Cointelegraph, Coindesk, investing.com, etc. And then you have the exchanges. What we do is unify everything and put it in one single app. We connect the four main stakeholders. So that is the retail investor, where they can search for different investing opportunities, chat with people, and they can interact in the blockchain as well inside of the app. And then we have the blockchain projects that I was mentioning before. And with these ones, we kind of connect them to everyone. We connect them to the other two different stakeholders, venture capitals and influencers, and obviously give them opportunities to expand their network, expand their businesses, and kind of get them where they should be inside of the cryptocurrency world.
Okay, just taking myself off mute there. Okay, so let me see if I understand correctly. So the first one, ScanDefi, so you detect fraud and stuff like that. So is this something? How do you define fraud? Because, for example, I assume, are you familiar with tomb forks?
No.
Okay, so tomb forks are basically something. They're a DeFi community that's based on the Phantom blockchain. And originally there was something called Tomb Finance, which was also a copy of something else, and that spawned like hundreds of other similar DeFi projects, each with a little tweak. And almost all of them have been where people are putting over $1 billion, and almost all of the money's been lost. Can it detect projects where, say, the person who starts the project pulls it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So what we do is initially in the smart contract, you have to code it in a way that allows you to change it in one moment and then kind of rug pull it. So what we detect is those gaps that they leave of due to interpretation, that people really don't know what this line of code means, etc., etc. So what we do is with a few parameters, we make a kind of grade from 0% to 100% and kind of give it a percentage of being a scam. Obviously, never saying that it's 100% because or 0%, right? Because no matter what, something can go wrong. In terms of that, that's how we do it.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you go to the website and you check to see, and so you follow whichever smart contract address it's pointing to, and then you look at the code. Or actually, you probably have to look at a website over time and see if that smart contract address changes, don't you?
Exactly. So what we do first is it does a preliminary scan, and it just looks at the smart contract. If it detects something that is not right, well, it will just detect it and say this line of code allows you to do this, and this, or allows you to not do this, which is also bad, right? So we have different techniques that already been studying in the past with an algorithm and everything. You know, it will be run by an algorithm, by the input of the community, and then at the end as well, from the input that we get day to day.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just adjusting. Okay,
Don't
so
worry.
so I went to your website and it looks like this is like I wasn't sure. Are you saying this has been up and running for some time? Because it looks like it's up and running based on your website. Is that correct?
It's not up and running yet. So we have is the blacklist right now, where people can report and report scams that they've been involved in or that have been victims of. They can also go to the academy and learn about different other ways that they can defraud you. We have, different techniques either from the external world, the blockchain world, and then kind of the satellites around it. So it's up and running. The project is up and running. We also have a token, but in terms of the scanner, we're still developing it because we want it to be 100% sure that it's going to do its job and not going to be kind of 80% to some project that already is not going to be right. So we need to be sure that we're not kind of defaming people for this.
Okay. And how did you actually get to this idea? I mean, what made you think of it?
Well, the fact was that I think everyone in the cryptocurrency world started with a scam. At least myself, my team, and everything. We all started through a scam, either a pyramid scheme or some promise that you'll get, I don't know, 10% per week, right? So that's how we all started, at least in my group. And we were like, this can't happen, right? There was also a lot of scams in the Binance smart chain and everything like that. We were like, we're seeing a very real issue there. And we're like, you know what? There's some companies and some websites that try to help with this, but they're not a company, right? They're not a company. They're not a token. They don't have a business model. It's just information. They're forgive me for this, but for geeks and made by geeks, right? And we're like, let's take this and make it a business. Let's make it a token, make it with a community. Let's create something bigger than these small websites that just detect a tiny bit. So we decided to do that, and yeah, that's where we are now, creating another project involved with Scan.
Okay, so I understand that. So you yourself were a victim of a scam, and I've been a victim of quite a few.
Yeah,
So, and or basically where the project creator didn't have good intentions, or maybe they had good intentions, but when it came down to it, they took the money when they could. Because money can corrupt even the best of minds, sometimes.
yeah.
So it happened to you and also people you knew. So you decided you wanted to see how could we find a long-term solution for this, and And that's what, okay, so that's what ScanDefi is.
Exactly.
Okay, and
Yeah,
have
so
you,
it's kind of a kind of academy, but also an actual product itself. So we have a service that helps detect if your investment or future investment is a scam. But as well, we go through universities, podcasts, we go to different media
mm,
to make sure that people know the risks, that people know the way that they scam, and to just move on to another thing if you see that something is a tiny bit wrong.
okay, so who's the customer for this? Is this that you're going to monetize through the token, or do you sell this to like venture capitalists or people who want to invest in tokens? Like, who's the actual customer? Is it going to be token holders? I'm not sure.
So the actual service is 100% free. You don't
Mm,
have to hold, you don't have to do anything to actually go in it.
mm,
What we do, our profit comes from the token itself, and then afterwards from the courses, right? So the courses we give with cybersecurity experts, blockchain experts, and myself sometimes.
mm.
What we do is we charge for those videos, online videos, or going to universities, giving talks, etc.
Okay, so how does your token actually get value based on scams?
It doesn't, right? It doesn't. The matter of fact, the more scams that we detect, it doesn't affect the price, right? It's
Mm,
it's just a matter of community there, that people that believe that this is going to work.
mm,
We also do audits for different tokens, so that's
mm,
another way we actually get revenue.
mm,
And it's just a matter of, fantasizing that it's going to go up, or that is, the actual token will have utility, and it has utility inside of the application inside of the website.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand because I understood. Correct me if I'm wrong. That you're trying to raise 100 million euros. Is that correct?
Yes, this is with Scan, or not Scan, but with TinDefi, right? So there's two different things. Scan DeFi is inside of Tin, helping TinDefi work through all these scams, all the products that are going to be listed there,
Mm,
and helping reaching a hand and also getting some clients from there. What TinDefi is doing is basically getting the or usually the biggest customer there is the user, the investor, which is going to go through the app looking for projects, metaverse projects. Right.
mm,
Okay, let's look for metaverse projects. And instead of searching for them manually, like
mm,
say, I don't know, Meta, right?
mm,
You go to TinDefi, to the Tin section, and what you do is click metaverse. And
mm.
once you click metaverse, you have every single project that kind of goes through there. What we do is, for example, you have a 15 to 30-second video
Mm,
explaining the project, kind of like TikTok.
mm,
And then if you like it, then you click, and then you see all of the information that you need to know, from the fundamentals, tokenomics, roadmap. You see who the owners are, the partners. You see where they're listed, their graph, the token, or the NFTs, or whatever they're selling. And you have all of the information either from the blockchain and the internet there. So it gives you, instead of looking for projects like CoinMarketCap that you have to type,
mm.
you find them, you discover them as you go, with a gamification that kind of helps the new crypto user to interact with the app, with
Mm,
rewards, with different stuff, apart from sharing this experience in the vibes section, where they kind of share their investments, share their thoughts, as well as the influencers that share value and education in the app.
Okay. So it's kind of like a search engine for crypto projects, or
Yes,
like
so
like
it's
like a like TechCrunch. It's like Crunchbase for crypto projects.
I would say so, but way different, right? So it has a bit of spice, kind of like Tinder, I would say,
Mm,
where if you would like the project, you swipe right, and then immediately you follow the project in their
mm,
profile, like
mm,
Instagram or any
mm,
other social
mm,
media right now. And then you also follow the actual group chat.
mm,
In the group chat itself of the project, you can buy and sell directly in the group chat. That means that the immediacy that you have right now, you don't have to go to Binance, you don't have to go to KuCoin, you don't have to go to PancakeSwap, you don't have to go any other exchange because we're already connected to them. So what that gives you is the way of, okay, I have the information here in the group chat. They just said a new release is coming or a new partner or whatever. Let me just buy. Oh, someone is creating FUD. Well, let me just sell, right? I can just do it instantly. Just click sell, amount, done. Because it is a decentralized app, we only need the wallet, which gives us access to do these transactions for you, obviously, if you allow it, and as well of transactions, right? Right now, for transacting and giving you, for example, $10, I have to ask for your wallet, copy it, go to my MetaMask or go to my exchange, copy, paste it, put the amount, verify, and it sends. It's not too long. It's faster than a bank transfer, let's just say. But this makes it even faster because if I'm talking to you, I can directly send you. You just have to say, hey, can you send me $10? I just say send, amount, send. That's it. That's
okay.
super fast.
So I'm understanding that this is. I mean, I know this like. I know this cycle where you get people trying to search for projects and trying to find out where it's listed, find out how they can buy it or sell it. So you're going to be like an all-in-one app. So I understand that,
Exactly.
and I see that there's people who'd use that for sure. And do you make the money off commissions from people buying and selling the coins, or?
So no, at the beginning, no, because this is not the main function. The main revenue stream comes from advertising. We'll have listed thousands and thousands of projects of every single sector in the cryptocurrency world: DeFi, Metaverse, NFTs, just different tokens, meme coins, whatever. What we make our money on is advertising. We give them the possibility to target people that, one, have invested in these type of projects, or they're actively looking for these type of projects. Someone that has NFTs, or someone that is looking for NFTs, or both, right? Plus, as well, we have the availability to look inside of these wallets and detect if they have liquid, if they have USDT, BUSD, BNB, or Bitcoin, maybe, right? So we have the availability to sell that information inside of the blockchain and say, we can get you to these people right now. So obviously, in the blockchain world and in the cryptocurrency world, advertising is very, very expensive. So we're the direct competition for influencers, for other websites that kind of do these promotions, but with the slight twist that people are actually looking for these projects that are going to be advertisements, right? Because being advertised in an app means that you have money to invest. Having money to invest means that you're doing good. So people that get ads are going to be thanking us. I'm not going to say it, obviously, because I know everyone and everything. But in my opinion, I feel like it's a very nice indicator that some project is going well if you see an ad. At least
Is this for early stage projects, though?
Exactly, yeah. So what we're going to be doing
it means
is,
they've got funding. It doesn't mean that they've got a sustainable model yet. It means that they've got funding.
But at least they've attracted some investors, right? And that's the start. So in terms of that, what we're trying to go is put an app where you not only get very small cap or micro caps, but also medium, big, and super large caps. So from the newest coin that they've put to Bitcoin, everything in there. And it's just up to you to filter that out or not, if you want to just get a surprise and see what you want, right? So it's kind of playing with that aspect of one, like all-in-one app.
Has anyone tried this before?
There's some competitors, but they are more into the social media aspect, right? So more into sharing, rewarding people that share and get more likes, but no other than discovering projects. Right now, you have CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, these kind of websites where you can look for them but not discover them.
Okay. And okay, so I mean, for me, I could see. I mean, yeah, I really see people using it to try and find new projects, and then maybe saying, okay, I'll put in $100 or $200. Have you actually? I mean, I know there's a demand out there because you just look at the internet chat rooms around the world, and you can see that people, there's millions of chat rooms on this sort of thing. Um, and have you actually released it to or tested it with people yet?
So we actually launched a month and a half ago, public. We've been working on since November, but public with everything, with the website and everything since May 1st. We are expecting to have the app ready and running for September, October.
Okay.
Not too long, but still, we have our own kind of mock-up. We have our MVP that we're doing beta testing inside of the team, and then we'll be actually getting some people outside in the community to start testing it out, but not ready yet.
Okay, I heard somewhere you have 45 people in your company. Is that correct?
Yes, we
And
have 45
how are
people.
you paying for all of this? Because that's a lot of people to pay.
So we have funding. We have, obviously, because of ScanDefi, we already had this team, a team of very highly motivated people that believe in the vision, kind of almost like co-founders, but not quite. But we all have the same vision. We are all ready to work without getting paid or much pay. There are a lot of people that are getting, salaries and wages that are according to their jobs. Which we get money from Scan because it's our old project.
But is Scan making money actually?
Yes. So we make money.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
That one is already working. We already have some clients. And then apart from that, we have the funding that we already got, which is 1.5 million from the first round and this round right now, where we can actually pay people their accurate wages, since we've been working on for this almost for free for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Okay. And so how are you planning on getting the 100 million? Is this from people who want to, are you trying to get it from venture capital firms or from people who actually want to look at these small micro caps? Because venture capital firms, they already have teams researching new projects and they just go to them direct. So I'm not sure if it's something they want unless they own most of your company.
Yeah. So for this, obviously, we're actually giving them a opportunity, not for them to search for projects, but for projects to search for them. Depending on the venture capital, they have different requirements, they have different interests. So what a project normally does is contact everything, right? Just try everything, because why not? So we give them an access to these people, which could be potentially more beneficial and faster. In terms of who we're looking to contact, obviously venture capitalists to have some part of the tokens, because we're actually doing an ICO. We're not doing equity rounds right now. And then afterwards, we're looking for individuals high net worth individuals that are looking for being part of this project or something very similar in the blockchain world.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like an interesting project. I think the main thing is that it's I was confused because you had two different projects. So ScanDefi has been run. So how long has ScanDefi been running since?
So we've actually released the token the 19th of August, but as well, we've been working on since January, I would say, January of 2021.
Oh, okay. So that's been like a year and a half for ScanDefi. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's but did you not think of just because if ScanDefi is going good, did you think of just scaling that up? I mean, what made you decide to not pivot but to kind of branch out? Because it's more than twice as hard to do two companies than one.
So the problem we were having with Scan DeFi is that it was not that scalable. It was not that attractive to the majority of the crypto users. Very useful, but not visually attractive. So what we're doing is kind of creating a marketing tool for Scan DeFi,
Mm.
is getting a lot of people interested in the one single project, which is
Mm.
TinDefi, and then kind of with these people, with this project, kind of referring them to Scan DeFi, because that is a way easier funnel to get audits done.
Mm.
And then afterwards, you have a free marketing scheme that we can actually run through Scan DeFi to promote Scan, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of a beneficial loop,
Sure.
because Scan DeFi is giving security to TinDefi, which we already have, but kind of giving that support. And then TinDefi is giving them clients, or giving us.
Okay.
I don't know how you want to see it.
So is it going to be one company or two though? It's going to be two separate companies.
Is going to be in the same holding. Is going to be in the
Sure.
same holding.
Okay. And how will, like, the companies that you list on TinDefi, will you go to them, or will you? Is it like someone goes and fills in a web form and they're listed, or are you going to be looking for projects?
So anyone can list any project, no matter if it's your project. I can list, for example, I can list Scan DeFi if I was not even a member, or if I was just from the community, because it's a decentralized, so you can get it right there. Now, it won't be verified until these owners verify the information that you put. So what we do there is kind of contact the ones that already have been listed and say, hey, someone listed your coin, please verify it so people don't mess, right? Don't get the wrong impression of your coin. So that's how we do it, and then afterwards, anyone can do it, right? Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So then, but then if they don't verify it, then they don't get listed, or it's marked
They get
as
listed, but
unverified.
yeah, it's unverified. So it could be right, it could be wrong. We always try to get the most. Oh,
That's my video went off, but it does it sometimes. I don't know why.
oh, okay. Yeah, so I was saying it can be verified by us in terms of looking in terms of the blockchain, verifying a tiny bit more. But in terms of what the project is about, the owners, etc., we can't verify 100%, something that we don't know. So in terms of that, we'll have protocols to verify ourselves, but obviously we encourage project owners to verify themselves, as well as being in the app, because of the benefits that it brings to them.
Okay. And which chains is this for? Is this only for Ethereum, or?
So it will be for every single chain, right? So inside of the project itself, you will have from Polygon, Solana, you will have anything, any blockchain project can go in it. And obviously, you can have, at first, you probably just go in with a MetaMask, with the most used one, which is a BEP20 wallet. And then you can add to your profile. If you want NFTs and you have NFTs in Solana, well, you can add your Solana wallet or Polygon wallet, whatever wallet that you want, you may add to your user, and either show it on your profile, or connect, or buy with other stuff, right? So it's, if there is a new blockchain, obviously it won't be there. You can list it and try to get it there. Obviously, there will be protocols and ways that you can do it.
Okay, and your service itself is not decentralized, that's centralized. That's your own service. Is that correct?
Our services in terms of what?
Like when someone goes and uses your website and your token, your own service itself runs on the blockchain, does it, or
Yes,
was it
it does.
centrally?
So it's decentralized.
Is it decentralized? Okay, so does that
Yeah.
mean that when your service is live, I could make an alternative UI on top of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you actually going to publish? Are you going to publish the APIs, the ABI?
Yeah, so we'll be publishing everything on the blockchain. Maybe not the internal code of the application itself. You'll be able to get into the application with no identification, with nothing, with no identity, with just your wallet. So that's the main factor, and then anyone can get in. That's our core value there.
Okay, but what about stuff like comments and like when people are interacting and voting? Is that going to be on the blockchain as well? All of that?
I'm not sure, to be fair.
Okay.
I know it's going to be in the application and anyone can comment, but I'm not sure if it's going to be in the blockchain or not.
Okay. Yeah. Because
I'm
what a lot of you have to be careful when you say it's fully decentralized, because what a lot of projects do is they say they're fully decentralized, but what they actually mean is they start off centralized and then they intend to become decentralized over the next probably 4 or 5 years.
hmm
And because there's a big difference, because if you're fully decentralized, it means that someone else can literally, when you go live, if your system works, it means that someone else can come along with a better UI and will have a chance to well, it would still help your system because it's your running with your token,
hmm
but it means that if you do stuff like taking credit card, like if you take credit cards and stuff like that, most of that has like an off-chain element to it. Like if you take Visa cards and things.
Yeah, we won't.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah. So in
it's
terms of
fully
that,
MetaMask.
yeah. So it's only with your MetaMask or your wallets or whatever. We are centralized itself. We're registered in El Salvador
Mm,
because of Bitcoin, because of the regulations there that allow us to be this kind of decentralized
mm,
and not ask for any details. But we're still a legal company. We still have to comply with patents. We still have to comply with, the code of the application itself. So in terms of that, we're decentralizing the means of we're not asking for any details or your identification, or we're not going to be asking, hey, you have some tax to pay.
mm. Okay, so that's interesting. You're in El Salvador. So you grew up in Spain, and what was the reason you moved to El Salvador? Was it just for this?
I'm not in El Salvador right now. I'm in south of France.
Mm,
We have our company incorporated in El Salvador. We have
mm,
some team members there. But the main part of the team and the whole company
mm.
is in Spain or around Europe.
Oh, okay. Um, okay, it's very interesting because because I know there's quite a few Bitcoiners who've
Yeah.
moved to El Salvador. I guess so. You're saying it's because of the legal framework. So does that mean that you didn't? What was the reason you chose El Salvador compared to like say Dubai or something like that?
Yeah. So, for example, in Europe,
Mm,
when you want to do an ICO,
mm,
they force you first to do a requirement in the bank and say, I'm going to do an ICO. I need the stamp that I'm going to do an ICO.
mm,
I need to ask for identification, for passport number, for whatever,
mm,
for every single investor.
mm,
And as a decentralized, in terms of decentralized company, we couldn't afford that. We couldn't say, yeah,
mm,
we don't want to do it. We
mm,
still wanted to be in the legal framework.
mm,
So we started searching for different countries that allowed us to do this
mm,
without the identification. We stumbled upon El Salvador because of our contacts. And we decided to go there after, searching for many different options
mm,
because we didn't have to give any details, any information about these investors,
mm.
just the wallet. So they have a registered number of wallets with the amounts that they bought. That is everything that they need because in El Salvador, that's how they work. They don't require any identification number because of the Bitcoin law
Are you talking about investors in your company or investors for the projects that you list on your company?
for the project, for the
Uh, oh,
actual token
I
itself.
see. So you're saying that, like, for example, in the USA, they have a thing where you have to be an accredited investor
Yeah,
to invest in the company. You're saying that the laws are so strict here, it's just a lot of hassle and it's just
exactly.
simpler. Yeah.
So if I wanted to invest in our ICO, but the ICO was listed in Spain or in Europe,
Mm,
I would put my identification card or I don't know, whatever identification that I have,
Mm.
in order to be able to buy that pre-sale.
Mm.
To get into that pre-sale, I
Mm.
have to give everything.
Mm.
Now, what you see is a lot of people that don't do this, but are still in Europe.
Mm.
They do it illegally, right? It's not legal within the banks, central banks.
Mm.
And we were like, we're going to be a big company. We can't afford to do this publicly as well. When we're actually giving our faces, right? I don't have a mask right now. I'm Juan. I am giving you my full details here. So in terms of that, we wanted to do it that way and legally.
Okay,
So
so at some point you'll have to move to El Salvador, though, won't you?
not myself. There's no requirement that I have to move or the co-founders have to move. There's only a requirement that only one person of the team has to be there as a representative.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that you didn't have to do that sort of diligence on investors in El Salvador. I had no idea about that. But yeah, that's interesting. So that must be. So is that attracting? Like, how are you finding? Like, I assume you've been to El Salvador, though.
No, I haven't.
Oh, but I hope you're planning on going.
I'm planning on going. Yes, indeed.
Are you? Sorry, my video keeps cutting off. Do you hear about a lot of other? I mean, what you said is very correct, because I know of DeFi companies all around the EU, and what happens is they kind of do it not illegally, but they just run the DeFi company, and once they get like $50 million in total value, or more than $10 million anyway, then what they do is they move to Dubai or to some other country, or Singapore or something. So what you're saying is totally correct. Is because there's just too much uncertainty here. So do you see also a lot of other companies doing the same thing because it's just simpler, or do you think it's going to become more friendly here in the EU?
I don't think so. Honestly, in the EU, we have a history of just killing everything that is unknown. Because we've done it in the past in every single occasion that we had. I don't think they can totally ban it. They will regulate it in the fact that they will be taxed everywhere when you buy, when you sell, kind of like the stock market at the moment. And kind of keeping a log about everything. Obviously, there will be the decentralized world, MetaMask. Well, depending on how you look at it, it can be centralized or not. But it will be at some point better and easier for companies to start their own cryptocurrency business. What they have to realize is that people are moving on to crypto because of these unexisting regulations. And it's why it's a booming market, because there's so much freedom that you can do anything. And this gives creativity, gives freedom of employing people all over the world without having to go through a bureaucracy, papers everywhere. That slows down the entrepreneur a lot, because maybe they don't know it, because maybe they don't know how to employ someone in Latin America, right? We have a lot of workers and a lot of employees in Latin America because of their situation, because of the language, because of many reasons. But it doesn't. If we had a company in Spain or Europe, we would have to go through a lot of processes of labor, of contractors, of whatever, that we don't have to go through just because of crypto.
Yeah, it makes sense, because a lot of, like, as a startup founder, I mean, you've got so many things to worry about, and then when you have to go through all that admin and paperwork, I mean, some people can deal with it. I mean, personally, I can't, and I know that most people just want to go full speed ahead.
It gives an extra cost. It gives an extra
it's
cost.
Extra cost, yeah, and time, everything.
Of lawyers, time, and knowing the regulations.
And you don't even know if there's going to be any benefit. Yeah, that's true.
And you don't know if this person's actually going to work, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I see that, because I mean, I'd moved from one place to another, and before this, I was in a place which was very unfriendly to crypto, and just moving to a place which is actually more regulated, 100 times more regulated than the previous place, but because a lot of people think that regulation means that places are unfriendly, but actually,
no,
those places are actually usually much more friendly. And so now I'm in a place which is the most regulated in Europe, which is Gibraltar. Um, I mean, just the difference in how people think about it is different. I mean, I know people who like back in like when I was living in the EU, and they'd literally take like years over a project which they could have tried in months or weeks, simply because they were trying to get over these legal roadblocks, and they were like, oh, I have to apply for this license and that license. And yeah, you have to do even more of that here. But the problem there is when they'd apply, they'd never get an answer. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're waiting 2 years to get an answer from the government about whether you're allowed to do something, it basically, like people were using that, and they didn't realize that it's like if you go to a lot of countries in Europe, like in Scandinavia, a lot of people still think crypto is going to totally fail. Most people still think that, and but now I'm away from that. The mindset is just so different, and it's probably you probably experience it dealing with people from El Salvador and other crypto friendly places. Like, they're just moving forward without all of that, headache.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives you so much more freedom. And regulation doesn't mean, as you said, doesn't mean that is going to be bad. It
Mm,
depends on the regulations. That's everything. If China is regulating mining, right, that
mm,
is bad in some sense
mm,
for Bitcoin miners. But if you're regulating in the fact that it's accepted that you can actually work with your bank, that the banks don't try to work against you because you're
mm,
using crypto.
mm,
Um, there's many problems out there with banks, even where there is no regulation and there's no problem with crypto.
mm,
The banks are canceling your cards. The
mm,
banks are freezing your accounts
mm,
because you're dealing with crypto.
mm, mm. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I know we've started talking about where crypto's future is. Um, I mean, we talked quite a bit about your company, and I know that you're still developing some stuff for your big release in September. I hope.
Hmm.
But so in 5 years' time, where do you see things will be with crypto in the world?
It's impossible to say. Yeah, it really is. My understanding, what I think could happen, the most possible way, is that people start adopting it. People
Mm,
start adopting it, paying and using it as a normal currency. I don't know if it will replace normal fiat. Hopefully not. We still have and we need physical cash. I'm someone that is, wanting to have that a physical cash remained in the system. Apart from that, a lot of things can happen. Regulation is going to go very, very strict and not even allow you to go decentralized, which I feel like it's depending on how you look at it, it gives a way to foment um, crime or money laundering.
mm,
There's a lot of that. But there's also ways to kind of research. It's very easy to go into the blockchain and go track anyone. So in terms of that, they can go through mixers, they can go through whatever, but you're still going to be found. It's just a matter of people knowing where to look, and that is crime, right? So in terms of that, I feel like it's a very positive future. It will go up by a lot because, as I said, only 4% of the population is actually in crypto. So imagine if 50% go in it. Imagine if 80% go in it and they start using it as a currency, as a fast method of paying, as a method of storing value, right? The technology behind cryptocurrencies it goes beyond the speculation that is going through right now,
mm.
um, and it has more value than it currently has.
I mean, what do you think will happen to the countries which go to like if the US makes it very hard for companies to serve users in the USA, do you think that the innovation will end up moving to countries like El Salvador, and those countries will get more wealthy, or?
Definitely. I mean, if a country, no matter who it is, restricts innovation, from happening fast or happening at the ease of everyone.
Mm.
And there's another neighbor country that has better conditions. There's always that nationalism that is built, for example, in America, in North America, that you have to be from the United States. You fight the world. You're the number one, right? So there's always that could make you stuck in that place. But if they do really, really harsh regulations, then it's going to go away. Maybe they'll increase in other industries, but crypto, if a country restricts it and annoys it, they'll go. They'll go because crypto users are very free. They're very, as a market, they're very volatile. They move from one place to another, looking for the best conditions and looking for the best outcome. So if you don't give them the best outcome, they will leave.
I think, yeah, we touched on a lot of things, but I think one of them was I think crypto will become like Bitcoin will probably become like the savings bank, and things like the Lightning Network. I think US dollars will still be the normal currency. In fact, I think US dollars will increase in circulation massively because I think a lot of countries will dollarize and switch to
They're
the
already
dollar.
doing it. Yeah.
It's already happening now, and there's been talk of some countries switching to Tether, and whether it's Tether or USDC, but so I already see that happening. I think with things like with DeFi, what might happen is you'll get like with outsourcing from the last 20 years, where you had countries in the West would outsource to India, for example, software development. Do you think you might see the same? I don't know how much of that you've seen, but for me, it was a big part of my working life. Do you think that the same might happen with crypto, where basically the US and the Western countries might just be a front for services, but everything's just developed in other countries, and other countries get the skill sets? It's a lot to think about, a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. I have no clue, it just depends because right now there's no manufacturing involved, right? So you can do it from your home. It's just a matter of fact where it's more beneficial for me or for the people that are working to develop this. If you have the skill sets somewhere, you're not going to move if you are not required to go somewhere else, right? I think you will see definitely a increase in pay for these developing countries. And you already see that developers, even normal developers, right, are increasing and kind of stabilizing in one price all over the world because they don't go locally. They don't service their services locally. They serve worldwide. So these developing countries, India, very tech, you can see a lot of developers coming from there because in the past they've been very, very cheap to buy or very cheap to hire, but now you can see that they're just standardizing the prices. So it's just a matter of who you think is best, who has their own language, and depending on where that goes. Because blockchain developers, they all charge the same, no matter where you go, no matter the skill set, they all charge the same. They're all expensive. They're all expensive indeed.
I think. Things you think to be a blockchain developer. Before I learned Solidity, for example, I thought that it's just learning one language. But now I'm actually building stuff. I realize you have to know web development, backend development, Solidity. You have to know the different blockchains, and endless Solidity versions and the differences. And you have to. There's a whole. I think if you just learn Solidity, you might be able to write a smart contract, but that's not actually that useful to a company. They want someone who can do the whole thing and can write the front end as well. Because like when you're writing a normal website with a database at the back end, you can have very fast interaction with the database. But suddenly when you're on a blockchain, you have a half a minute transaction which might fail. Your UI is totally different, and so you have to really make sure that you're not a cookie cutter developer who's just learn on a course or something. That
I
was my
totally agree.
experience anyway. Anyway, I'm supposed to be interviewing you on it. Are you a developer yourself?
No, 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 no. I have minimum Python knowledge.
Okay, so what was it that actually attracted you to crypto, would you say, in the first place?
The money.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
a
Dude, I
very
like that. Just
simple
honest.
answer.
Just the money.
At first, yeah, I started when I was 17, going into stock market and investing, etc. And then my CEO actually got me into crypto and
Mm,
said, hey, there's a big opportunity here. Let's
mm,
just trade, let's invest, let's do this, let's do that.
mm,
And I got around a good crowd, really.
mm,
People that were developers, designers. We had the whole
mm,
team there,
mm,
and we just decided, hey, let's just do something. Let's do
mm,
something that could work, and we started doing very small stuff.
mm,
Myself, I'm not a very techie guy in
mm.
terms of that. I think I like
Well, not
science.
yet. Not yet.
Not yet, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems hard and a lot of time to put in it. I'm kind of the guy that goes like, well, I have the idea. Can you
Mm,
develop it and
mm.
kind of supervise it instead of getting my hands dirty in there because I have no knowledge. If I had, I would do it myself. But
I think at some point you have to though, and I'll tell you why. Because there will be company changing decisions that you'll make. For example, when you have your own token. For example, what blockchain you're on.
yeah,
And if you don't know how the blockchains work and developed on it, it's very hard to because people always go where the developers are, and so you have to know how the developers think, and and you have to understand how these these solidity bugs and
I agree.
vulnerabilities work. So at some point, I mean, I was the same. I stayed away from crypto for years, and even though I was a software engineer for 30 years, and then in the last year I started learning how to code in it, and now I understand things. I realized it would have been quicker if I just learned to code in Solidity 4 years ago. Yeah, sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
no. Yeah, no, for me, I think it's like that. I know I have to know a tiny bit in the market. I need to know how it works. I need to know how everything is developing.
Mm,
And that is, for me, is general knowledge, right?
mm,
I don't have to be a specialist in blockchain development.
mm,
For me, I have the idea, which some other blockchain developers don't have. They
mm,
have the skill set to make it real,
mm,
which I admire. Honestly, I wish I had that brain or I had that possibility. Maybe it's just putting time into it, but maybe it's not for me. But yeah, I try to sell the product. I sell the image. I
mm,
sell the branding. I'm a marketing,
mm.
sales, communications person. And I'm not someone that, is able to stay in front of a computer for 10 hours
Yeah.
and, break my head around one line of code that is failing.
To be honest, most developers can't either. They hate it as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, but I mean, I do appreciate that because it's also something sometimes to not be in front of the code, you can see the business opportunity that people who know it too well can't see. So
mm.
I do appreciate that. Um, okay. Um, so is there any other stuff that you'd like to talk about your companies or yourself? Any interesting topics?
Well, if they
Before.
gotten this far, well, thank you. They can reach me at my LinkedIn. I don't know if you put it on the down
Yeah,
there or whatever,
you might want to
but
spell out the names of your companies so people can just enter it because there'll be an
yeah,
audio version as well.
perfect. It's TinDefi, TINDEFI.net. That is the decentralized social media,
And
and
that'll
then
be
there is
out in September, yeah?
yeah, that will be out
Yeah.
in September.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. You can already invest in the ICO if you want, and you feel like it's a great project, which honestly I think it is, but that is up to you. And then you have ScanDefi, which is SCANDEFI.net. ScanDefi, like a scanner, but a DeFi, right?
Okay, fantastic.
And then afterwards, you can follow me on LinkedIn or connect with me on Juan Gasca Aristeguieta. You already have it there on the Zoom link. or on the Zoom page. And then afterwards, you're more than welcome to follow our social media in Instagram or Twitter of TinDefi or ScanDefi, which you can find in the website itself.
Okay, thanks. That sounds great. Okay, so we'll put the links in the show notes as well. And thank you a lot for your time, Juan, today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thanks.
It was
Take
a
care.
very great podcast. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.